Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to SOMA. Previously, we made our way out of Site Theta, not before being captured by Acres and having to slip by a bunch of proxies, but we were able to escape the sewers and ended up outside near Site Omicron, which we are trying to get into right now. And we essentially had a discussion with um, Catherine about what we are essentially. How do we define ourselves? Are we living? What are we? On kind of a more philosophical way of looking at this. And then Simon made a really interesting note that I thought was uh, worth considering and keeping in mind in terms of the site we're at, which is the place is supposed to be on some kind of lockdown, and something is slipping us information to get us inside. And he said, "Why do I feel like I just got lured into the back of a van?" And Catherine seems completely unbothered by this. As it says here, Simon has found Omicron, where he is supposed to look for a power suit that will stand the pressure of the abyss. But first, he needs to find a way inside. So let's get to it. Alright, no. I mentioned previously that the front door is probably not going to work. It says unlocked. Mechanical malfunction, use alternate entrance. So I commented previously on how there were a couple bodies out here. And I'm thinking we may have bypassed one or two because apparently nobody got inside. I was kind of reading up some notes and I'm like, so I may have missed something out here, but apparently, trying to remember the controls. Oh, there it is. So apparently there was a body out here that I missed.
The world is dead, Richard. Even if we got inside Omicron, what's left? Grab a couple suits and head for Tau? Strasky, Jonesy, Hart. Everyone is dead, and we are right behind them. We're probably the last people left alive. The last moments of mankind. No oxygen left. Better sit down. Don't want to fall into the abyss.
There are worse ways to die. Probably. Why they call you M?
Huh? Oh, it's for Emma.
Emma Alvaro. I like that. It's a good name. We should have hung out more. I think we would have made good friends.
Thanks. I would have liked that.
Goodbye, Emma.
Bye.
It still kind of had me sucked into the buffer. I'm kind of wondering if the other body might have been over here. It has to be Strasky. Oh, there he is. I bet that's him. Essex. I couldn't remember what happened to Strasky, so.
It won't fucking open! And nobody's answering to anything! What kind of cold-hearted motherfuckers would just leave us out here to die?
Don't you get it? They're dead. They're all dead.
Yeah. You're right.
How can you be so calm about this shit? We are dying!
How much air have you guys got?
20 minutes. Tops.
Hey, I'm in red. Seconds away before the CO2 gets me.
Strasky?
Why wait, right? I'm the master of my own fate.
Wait, Strask, what are you doing?
Okay. Yeah, the site wouldn't open for us either, if you recall back. Okay. So the WoW's kind of taking over this area, outside and inside. Okay, so we're trying to get to an alternate entrance. Ooh, I don't like this. Oh dear. Oh dear. Don't slide. I have a fear of heights.
This had better be the right way.
Yeah. Oh my lord. Holy. Okay. Moving. Oh, this thing is falling apart. They always say don't look down, and then, you know, you just kind of feel like you have to, right? Can I... Oh, I do not like this. Oh, yeah, don't look over the edge. Okay. Alright,
Let's find that suit and get out.
well, that's a lovely way to start. Everybody's head is gone, and I have no access to their black box. What's this go to? And the place is not just in lockdown, it looks like it's shut down. Dive room is probably what we want. Containment A. Mm-hmm. There's just a conveniently laid out plan for me to get down the hallway with every other door shut.
this Omicron? Everything is so basic, so limited. I hope it's not the Omnitool falling apart. Okay, we need to find you a power suit. You know, so we can go into the abyss without ending up like a recycled can of soda.
You think we'll find one that fits me? I mean, I'm kind of in a suit already.
That's been bothering me too. You know how you were transferred from Vancouver?
Toronto.
From then to now.
How could I forget?
Okay, so we do it again.
You want to send me to the future?
No, you idiot. I want to transfer your mind into a new body.
What?
Look, we already know it can be done. We don't need to make it a big deal.
It is a big deal, Kath. It's a huge fucking deal. There's got to be something else that can take us down there.
The Dunbat at Theta was the only vessel that could take that pressure, and you saw what happened.
Then think of something else.
Simon, please. You don't have to switch this instant. Just play along for now. If we find something else, then great. If not...
I'm not promising anything.
Thank you, Simon. Have a look around the room. This is where they would keep the power suits, if there are any left.
Let's not overlook what that means. No. Okay, no.
If there are any power suits left, they should be in the lockers.
I found one.
Oh, God. Nice. I found one of the power suits. There's a dead woman inside. At least I think it's a woman. Just like the body we found in the annex. She's missing her head.
Gross. This could work in our favor, though. Look for a terminal nearby, see if you can boot it up.
Rally Herber. This is the one that Strasky referred to as Herbie. Also, they had to put these on. They're quite heavy, for obvious reasons. Right. So remember, we're in a Haimatsu diving suit, so this is a little different. HPS, so Haimatsu power suit information. A high-pressure power suit guaranteed to withstand the temperature spanning from 60 to negative 75 degrees Celsius while keeping a steady 40 degrees Celsius default on the inside. That's kind of... That's a bit hot, isn't it? Or is that to compensate for heat loss? The suit will automatically shield the wearer from pressure and maintain the normal 1 atmosphere up to a depth of 5,000 meters. The onboard controller monitors the wearer's physical state and is able to minimize risk of shock, hyperventilation, and even dehydration. That's the one time I've ever actually seen that unit, atmospheres, used outside of practice problems for physics. That's kind of funny. Or is it physics or is it chemistry? Maybe both. HPS usage. The suit is easily assembled through rotating neck and wrist rings that locks the gloves and the helmet in place. Note that the joints won't seal unless the controller is able to identify a wearer through a set of sensory systems. Suits may be locked to specific personnel, but as a default, the suit will accept anyone. And we just saw the twisty part looked like it took a head off to me, I mean. The controller is the onboard computer monitoring pulse, brain activity, body temperature, and stress through skin conductance. It uses this information to provide the wearer with the safest experience. Okay. Looks like they went from the climber station to... Is that... Oh, it's just showing Tau at the bottom, okay. That was D, right? Oh.
Not exactly grade A material.
Don't write it off just yet. Remember what we found out at Theta? The suit you are wearing is basically just a Cortex chip working a few pints of structure gel, powered by the on-suit battery pack.
And a dead colleague, Imogen Reed.
Exactly. If you think about it, we're actually incredibly lucky. We found a suit with an already dead body inside.
I guess you're right. What about the WoW? What makes you think it'll play along?
It's not magic, it's algorithms. A set pattern. The WoW won't be able to deny us, even if it was capable of wanting to.
I'm still not crazy about this plan. It feels wrong.
Please, Simon, I can't give up on the Ark. I need this to work.
So we need a Cortex chip, structure gel, and a battery pack. That's one hell of a shopping list.
Thanks. I'll just hang around here if that's okay.
I'll be back.
How am I supposed to get out of here? The door's red. Thank you. Let's not overlook. Hey, that's the Ark crew. Catherine on the left, and I know a few of them. Okay, Hamamatsu power suit, proper usage. We've already read this. Power suits tested and ready. Okay, yeah, that's the whole team, I think. I don't think Eames wasn't on the team, right? Wasn't Eames the... Let me look. Yeah, Eames is the head of this site, so... I wonder why... I don't know. Interesting. Alright. Shopping list. Structure gel, battery pack, Cortex chip. So, an energy source.
Don't forget, we need a Cortex chip, structure gel, and a power pack to get the suit ready.
I know. Look, I actually remembered this time. So we're basically trying to give it an energy source and a place to put my mind, the Cortex chip, and then the structure gel to get to basically make the body usable. Okay, this was locked earlier. Okay, laboratory. We're gonna need to unlock some areas. Okay. Okay, well, we're on this floor already. Do I... Well... Just a normal person. Nothing to scan. Oh. Well, I can't read them anyway, so I don't know why bother trying, I guess. There we are. Okay, method, structure gel as connector and interface between energy pal S 5.3, sorry, and organic tissue. Never seen something of that speed. Huh. Oh, these are chlorophytus. These are types of algae, I think. Oh, no, that's a rat on the bottom right. Okay, different organisms. Rattus nervigicus is what a lot of people have for domestic rats, so. Oh, there you are. Okay. Connectivity, Lisa Cameron, 2103, March 23rd. The structure gel has been charged and actually keeps going for a while, even when removed from a power source. If applied to circuits, it seems to help out with connectivity, which is why they use it, I believe. It seems like it's... Oh, wait, so we're going 2 days. It seems like it's not only connectivity, but even functionality. The gel can make simple machinery work and act more efficiently. However, the modifications that the WoW has made to the gel are full of extra information that doesn't necessarily make sense. When applied to something more complicated, it causes the gel to act as a cancer upon the host, eventually ruining it. We could use the gel to our advantage, but it needs to be uncalibrated to get rid of the bad code. Okay, Helperin, we're looking at a couple months later. Applied gel to dead mouse. The gel caused the mouse to appear alive. It was put into the same habitat as a living mouse. The reanimated mouse was apathetic, while the living one seemed stressed. I can't imagine why. After 15 minutes, the reanimated mouse attacked and killed the living mouse. Half an hour later, the reanimated mouse stopped moving. The corpse was solid as the gel had hardened within it. Okay, jumping a couple more months at least. Reanimated another mouse with structure gel. This time it was done with an uncalibrated gel as produced by Eames, again the site head for Omicron. The results were impressive. The thing appeared catatonic, but it's more of a sleepwalker. To avoid the thing hardening as before, electromagnets are used to cause the low electrical current within the animal. This has also provided us the ability to somewhat control it. I think that's how the WoW works too, if I'm not mistaken. It uses some kind of electrical signal to make the gel move to its will. So Paula, Helperin to Paula, and we're looking at about almost a half a year later. The structure gel remains unchanged on a fundamental level. It's still the same cross-linked gel with aligned graphene in a polyunsaturated matrix that was installed throughout PATHOS-II a few years ago. The problem is not the gel, but its controller, the WoW. The gel has not taken on any new properties. The WoW simply uses it in ways that we would never have dreamed of. And then Eames, around the same time, so we're going forward a few days, about a week. Overwhelming evidence concludes that all deformed creatures, the fish, the sharks, and even the helpers, were manipulated by the WoW via structure gel. They have in some manner been exposed to charged gel, and in turn stricken by cancerous growths that affect their whole being. It's difficult to ask why when talking about an AI, but it all started shortly after the comet killed the surface. I can't for sure say if it's bad code or carefully programmed mercy killing, or a carefully, sorry. But it looks like it's not going to make things easier for us to survive. Yeah. Okay, and we have some... Oh, so these are the tests they were running. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna use this. We're gonna use it to reactivate the chip, basically. Lovely. See the little glowy spots are growing over it? Before we do the chip, why are we doing this? It's moving. It's moving. Oh, too far, too far. That is really cool, but also really disturbing.
It came back to life. Or something like it.
Yeah, why did I do that? First item. So we want to go downstairs and upstairs, right? Or do we want to go in here? Okay, well, you're not working. Yeah, so this is what we've been seeing outside. Infected fish. And other things. Okay, I don't think we actually needed to come in here. So cool. Okay, so we have hydroponics. It's actually one of my specialties. I never claimed to be a expert on anything, but that's one thing I've done a lot of work with. Oh, hey.
Hey, Andrea?
Yeah?
I was talking to Cameron about protein solubilization. Do you think we could break the aggregate and structure gel without flattening the configuration?
Jesus. That was a mouthful. You've been listening to Cameron, that's for sure. What do you want, Raleigh?
Can you blame me for trying to figure this out? I've been having the dreams too, you know. I don't know what to believe.
Oh, I know. Everything from the sudden signal amplification in black boxes to having a comatose Dr. Ross locked up in the glass jar. We've all been going a bit nuts.
Tell me about it. Feels like my head's about to explode. Hypothetically speaking, could we stop the WoW from mutating?
It doesn't work like that.
Even if there was a Site Alpha?
Hypothetically speaking, I guess we could try. Rally, are you recording this?
Sorry. I just... Sorry.
So I did a little bit of research on that. Apparently there were 3 people that knew about Site Alpha. Sarang had already mentioned it. Ross worked there. He's the one that's was locked up in this thing. And Raleigh was the other one who knew about it, at least. Wait, I went through here, right? Yeah, that's the structured gel room. Did I walk by this one earlier? Yeah, this one's got a head. Oh, this one's alive. Okay, where's the downstairs? There's supposed to be a downstairs. I want to do downstairs first. Downstairs is always worse. There we go. Let's get the worst one out of the way. There's always something in the depths. Right? Right. Here we are. So this is where we came in. Oh, there we are. Where's a physicist when you need one? What were you doing here? Oh, this is it. I don't exactly remember how this works, but I'll try to figure it out. Huh? Oh, I think, wait, do we need to start this up or something? I think this is the Cortex chip, I think. Oh, that's not what I was going for. There we go. That's kind of cool. Cortex chip with eyes. That's really important. It's good to be able to see, right? Hey there. What the... You know what? I'm good. We don't need to ask questions. Okay.
Strasky, are you there?
I hear you, Herbie. What's up?
Just wanted to check in. I have to go do something. I might not be around for a few days, okay?
Rally Herbert leaving the listening post? Must be important.
It is, Strask. It is.
Omicron, can you hear us?
Loud and clear. Everyone all right?
We will be as soon as we make friends with the power suits.
I'm sure you'll get used to it.
Just wanted to check in before we pass the last working Lumar probe.
Guys, any last words to Omicron?
Don't forget to pick us up.
You heard that, right?
Don't worry, we won't forget.
Alright. Heading into radio silence.
Good luck, guys.
Okay, first one was Rally, the body that was in the suit, and the one that was looking into the WoW. This was the ARC team. That's Catherine's crew.
Tau, please respond. This is Rally Herber calling from Omicron. Please respond, Tau.
Unable to connect. Lumar relay out of range.
Yeah, I get it.
Unable to connect. Lumar relay out of range.
Okay. And those two last ones, those are the deep area sites. So that looks familiar. Alpha needs medicine. He's sick. Okay. Into the Abyss, take it to Alpha in the Abyss. Alpha. End Tau find Alpha, take the gel to Alpha. The heart of Alpha. Okay. Okay. Alright, one more place to search. And we still need the power source, right? We want to go this way? Yeah. Hey, that one looks... Nope, never mind. They're all missing their heads, never mind. Remember, they were having troubles. Catherine said something had overloaded their black box. I mean, 3 guesses as to what did it. So, the food setup's kind of interesting, if you ask me. What you got there? Can I see that?
Johann Ross was found dead on the climber this morning. The ARC team went down a couple of days ago, but I see no reason to suspect them playing a part in his death. The climber can't be operated from the abyss, so there was a scheduled retrieval. The climber returned with only the lifeless body of Alpha member Johann Ross. No traces of the ARC team. Cameron, Eames, Lansky, all studying the body inside containment. I'll follow up with whatever they find. Delenda Est.
Okay, that was Dahl. I don't know quite what everybody's position was here. Either I missed that information or it's just missing. I know the name though. I think Dahl was one of the people that knew about Alpha.
The WoW has been getting more aggressive, pushing all systems to their limits. Ironically, the dead Dr. Johann Ross would be the perfect person to ask why the WoW is making such a big buzz about his passing. After all, the WoW isn't supposed to want anything. And definitely not to mourn people.
Yeah,
the
sorry.
Load affects the staff considerably. Headaches, loss of sleep, unwarranted stress. And it seems to be getting worse. I could use some advice if you can get through. Delenda est.
It wasn't Raleigh that knew about Alpha. She figured out about, or she found out about it. It was this one, Julia Dahl. She's the one who knew about it. It was Serene, Dahl, and Ross that knew about the site.
Things are out of hand. The staff looks like they're about to explode. Every other person walks around with nosebleeds, and the rest keep wiping stains of blood from their eyes to keep them from overflowing. It's to do with the WoW trying to free Ross somehow, for sure. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if the body just got up and left. Raleigh Herber, our dispatcher, has been snooping around asking questions she shouldn't. She says she's going down into the abyss to find Alpha. I can't bring myself to stop her.
Oh, that's whose body I am. Yeah, I just put two and two together on that. Tau evacuation on September 13th. Vic O'Clair ordered the staff at Tau to evacuate and move up to the plateau. Keep in mind, Tau is one of the first sites in the abyss. Together with engineer Alan Waldeck, I descend into the abyss to assist the evacuation. Following protocol, we waited at the climber platform for 140 minutes and made several attempts to contact Tau. I decided to move towards the site, thinking I might intercept them. That's when I noticed the guiding lights flickering, and soon the whole path shut down. Omega sector swallowed by darkness. I pushed on with my floodlight until I heard screaming over the short-range radio. I carried on, breaking in and out of range. As I hurried closer to investigate, I came upon the lacerated body of field worker Espinosa. Something big had almost cut her in two. I considered the importance of saving Tau, and more specifically Ross, as I heard Espinosa's colleagues getting massacred over the radio. Seeing no way to possibly improve the situation, I hurried back to the climber and left the people at Tau to their fate. Carthage knows. So Carthage is the company that I think built the WoW, possibly. Or they definitely had control over Site Alpha. Carthage something, I can't think of the name. I'll look at my notes later. But with some luck, Ross made it back to Tau and is able to continue his work at Alpha. So this is before they found the comatose body. To avoid further disturbances, I have decided to report the evacuation as a complete failure, hoping it will stop Theta from attempting another one. Claudia Eames, the manager of Omicron, has already ordered the climber to stay at the plateau for now. My report on the savage wildlife scared everyone enough to even stop Waldeck and Darby from maintaining the Lumar probes. It's a good thing Killaskila is off-site, because I have a feeling he would not have approved. Reminder, Killaskila is the one who went to Site Lambda and started consuming structure gel. The restrictions came out slightly more severe than I had anticipated, but I'll take it, as long as Ross is left alone to work with the WoW. Yep, so these are the three people that would have known about Site Alpha. Dahl, Ross, and Sarang. But Herbie figured it out. Raleigh figured it out, sorry. Let's see. That's Site Tau. Not sure who that is. That might be Raleigh. That looks like the climber, the diving room. Yeah. Well, we literally got to hear her black box explode, so... or explode her head. Every time I do that, I make something worse. Power road. Let's get that last piece of the puzzle. Dude. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, wow. No packs. There it is. Wow, that is terrifying. Stay there. Is she still there? She's still there. Oh boy. Okay, upstairs was the bad place to go. I take back what I said about downstairs. How do I get out of here?
The door!
It's locked! What's going on?
Managed to piss off another one of WoW's monsters.
We have everything we need, right?
Yeah. Let's get to work.
Yeah, stick it right in there.
This is crazy.
Don't worry, it'll work. Make sure it's all bunched together with the structure gel connecting all the parts. Alright, try activating the suit from the terminal again.
I can't believe we're doing this.
It will be fine.
Then why don't we put you in the suit?
I was gonna suggest that if you refused.
You'd go without me.
I need to do this, Simon. This is important. I need to launch the Ark.
You'd really do it? Change Bobby?
Yes. If you want to stay here, I'm not gonna stand in your way. I don't want to tell you what to do.
What would it be like before? Close my eyes and then...
And then open them again.
All right. Let's do it.
Thank you, Simon. Go sit in the pilot seat in the next room. You might need to boot it up. We need to loop back the activity manifested by your current Cortex chip, run it through the amplifier, feed it into the new chip, and then make sure it's synced.
You lost me halfway there.
You don't really need to understand it, just make them line up.
Oh, close. No. No. It's so close that way. No. Okay, so it's going in steps of twos. There we go.
That's everything. You can climb into the pilot seat now.
Already?
I have everything under control, so please, have a seat.
Yes, yes, and keep in mind what happened the last time we did
Go sit
this.
in the pilot seat.
I know.
Sorry about any discomfort. This should be over soon.
It's like having your picture taken.
But with the most expensive camera in the world.
You know, Indians thought photos would steal their souls.
In this case, they'd be right.
There must be something wrong. Can't you run a diagnosis or something?
What was that?
No, it just...
Why was it still talking?
It's the same like before.
Catherine, why was he still talking?
That's how it works, you know that.
What do you mean?
You know it's not magic. You were copied. The sleeping Simon in the seat was copied, and now you are here, just like Simon lived on in Toronto.
God damn you, Kath. 2 Simons? There can't be 2 Simons.
What did you think would happen?
That you were gonna take my mind and put it into another body, like a brain transplant.
I'm sorry, it wouldn't work that way.
You realize how messed up this is?
Please, I didn't mean to upset you.
How did you expect me to react to this shit?
Please stop.
You're fucking disgusting. What's gonna happen to him?
He'll sleep for a while, a few days.
And then what? Wake up in his fucking nightmare again? All alone? So cruel.
Well, what do you want me to do with him? Make friends? Let him know that we have to leave him behind when we go into the abyss?
What if he didn't need to wake up?
You'd do that?
I don't know. Maybe.
There. I set it up for you. Hit the switch if you want to drain his battery. He'll die within a minute. I'd rather not stay plugged in any longer.
Yep, same thing. We're in a different body and our original goes on. Remember when they get scanned that they go through that state of, they said it's kind of like having a hangover, like the worst hangover ever, but it really knocks it out of them when they get those scans done. And no, I'm not going to shut him off. I'm leaving him. I know that sounds cruel, but I'll explain my thinking later.
Are we done here?
Yeah,
Activate the climber, please.
sure thing.
Take a seat and we'll be off.
It's dumb luck, right? And I woke up in the right body. He's a redundant copy. He'll never experience my journey, the full journey. He wouldn't understand. How could he? I couldn't do it, and you knew it. You were right in trying to hide it from me. Only wish you'd done a better job. I basically flipped a coin, and if I had called the wrong side, I'd be rotting away at Omicron. I mean, there's nowhere to know, right? You didn't hit the make sure Simon wakes up in the right body switch, did you? Not that you would know. I mean, he would still claim to be the right Simon. Christ. This is awful. We did an awful fucking thing. And you wouldn't mind? Why would you? How could you know that it's not me, the me that I am, the same that I've always been? Let me say something. I don't want to think. Please.
I don't know what to say. I don't want to upset you.
Say anything.
When I was little, I used to climb the stairs all the way to the top of the building. And I can still feel how I had to, tuck my arm so I could push the heavy steel door open. Well, the first time that I dared go up there, I stepped out onto the roof and watched the smog rise and fall over Taipei. I got all the way up to the corner ledge and, I felt the warm wind in my hair and the sun was setting and the streets below were shadowed by the tall buildings. The people pushing through the crowd flowed like paint from an artist's brush. Street food vendors filled the air with aromas of all my favorite foods.
For a brief moment, I felt connected to the world in a way that I never had before. It was the most profound feeling of comfort and sense of belonging I could ever hope for. I really never felt the same way again, but I went up to the roof many times after. I'm not religious, but I can see why people would be. The privilege of being makes a strong case, at least every once in a while.
Do you still feel that sense of awe? Even like this?
Things are different, but we're still here.
What's the point of going on? Everyone's gone. All the people still left are digital copies trapped in computers at the bottom of the sea. We'll never be able to rebuild or reclaim what we were.
Are you really so unhappy being what you are, or is this about the man who went for a scan 100 years ago?
Both, I guess. When I was back in Toronto, even the worst case, the darkest futures I could predict, they at least included my previous life somehow. I feel so uprooted. There's nothing here that I recognize, nothing that makes me feel like I belong. Even if we make it to the Ark, would it be any different? I'd still be alone. No friends. No family.
You could make new friends. I'm sure everyone would like to know the time traveler. If not, you still have...
Catherine? Kath? Hello, Catherine. What happened?
Oh boy.
Hey, I know it's not much, but why have we stopped moving?
The power blacked out for a moment. Think it could be the atmospheric pressure. It's pushing pretty hard, really testing the limits of my suit.
Don't worry, it should hold.
Comforting.
It will hold.
It's really pretty out here.
Does time freeze when you're not powered?
Time feels omitted more than anything.
What's the difference?
I don't feel like I'm being held back or hindered. And I don't have the opportunity to reflect on the time I'm missing. It's simply missing.
Sounds like sleeping without the dreaming.
Yes. But generally you anticipate when you're about to sleep, and there's a natural continuation since we tend to wake up where we went to sleep. My experience is more like an ever-changing moment that never really seems to find closure.
Sounds kind of like a movie being edited live.
I suppose so. I guess it sounds exciting, but it really keeps me activated to the point of exhaustion.
It's rough.
Could be worse. Could be a time traveler stuck in a body made from black goo.
That'd be the worst.
Good, you're back.
What happened?
Something dropped onto the cage. Knocks you right out.
Spoke to me.
Looked like a man, one of WoW's creatures. It just stared at you for a moment, then threw itself down the abyss.
It said it would make preparations. I don't like the sound of that.
It was very strange. I thought it was going to kill you for sure. I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah, me too. Looks like we're closing in on the ocean floor.
Good. Not sure the climber can take it much longer. Okay, so this is the Omega Sector. It's about an acre of the abyssal plan used by PATHOS-II. I expect we'll have to do some walking before we reach town.
You haven't been here before?
Not in a way that'll help us.
Right, the other you has been here. We're following your own footsteps, Kat.
When I had footsteps.
You could still be down here somewhere, technically.
Don't remind me, freaks me out. Alright, let's head for town and find that arc.
All right. So as per the usual, I want to talk a little bit about the site we just left, Site Omicron. Still relatively close to the surface compared to some of the other sites. We're looking at 115 meters below surface level, sea level, I guess, or 377 feet. You could probably guess from the site, but its main function was research. So it's a research facility, and it's one of the two kind of at the edge of the plateau. Site Delta being at the edge of a volcano as well, so kind of similar to that in a way. And of course, it overlooks the abyss and takes what we or has equipped the Abyss Climber Rig, ACR as they refer to it. So it's not just a research facility; it's also the way that they get from the surface, the kind of more surface level sites down into the abyss, which we're looking at, I think, 4,000 meters. I don't remember what that comes out to in feet. I'll run that by when we get to the next site because I know those numbers. The research here was a little different from Theta. There was a lot of marine biology research, hydroponics, and structure gel research, as could be determined from the labs. It's the second, I think, most populated site because Theta had, of course, the largest because they have most of the living quarters and the administrative section. But there were 12 people stationed at Site Omicron, and a lot of the positions they held, I don't think were very well were known, I guess. We've of course learned about Claudia Eames, who is the chief factor, so their head there. We learned about Raleigh Herber, the dispatcher, who would communicate with Strasky, and she, of course, had caught on to information about Site Alpha. We already knew Adam Golaski, the chief engineer, because, like I said, he was the one who was sent to Site Lambda, where he ended up consuming the structure gel. And now we know Julia Dahl, who is one of the 3 people who know about Site Alpha, which is the black site of PATHOS-II. So kind of going over some of the stuff that happened at this site in the past, things that we weren't able to see. Chief factor of Site Tau, Vic O'Clair, was the one who ordered the evacuation of that site, which is the site we're trying to get to right now, and the transfer of all their personnel to Site Omicron on September 13th, 2103. Julia Dahl, who I was just talking about, one of the people that knows about the Site Alpha, she went down in the climber rig, as it said in her notes, to where we are now at Omega Sector, essentially to assist them with the evacuation, but she kind of backtracked when she caught the screaming from them being attacked by the wildlife down here. So, we got some stuff to deal with while we're in this site, obviously. Chief factor of Site Omicron, again, Claudia Eames, ordered that the climber rig was to stay on the plateau and not come down here any further, so based on what was happening. And Johann Ross was another character we had learned about. He was not stationed at Site Omicron, but he would make occasional trips there. And he returned to Site Tau, which is, like I said, is where we're going to continue his work at Site Alpha, because he was the only member of PATHOS-II that would actually go there. And the ARC crew, so we're kind of going from the initial evacuation of Tau. The ARC crew eventually arrived at Site Omicron on December 25th, 2103. Catherine made scans of the personnel on site, and then they took the climber rig down into the abyss. Ross, I think, knew they were there. There are some discrepancies in dates when we get to Ross's notes, because he mentions how they came down. But essentially after that, the personnel after the art crew kind of arrived, Ross eventually made his way back to the climber rig on December 27th, 2103, and they found him essentially brain dead and comatose and put him into that containment setup that we found him in. And for reasons unknown to them, it would seem that system failures would occur whenever Ross was around, and there would be black box interferences. And this is because the WoW was actually manipulating the electromagnetic current in the structure gel in the surrounding areas. So the people did not know that at the time. Now there is a little bit of what you could learn about this. I hope it's not too spoilerish at this point. But if you kind of paid attention to what Raleigh was doing, so Herbie, as they called her, she was creating what we picked up, that canister of structure gel. That was not the same structure gel we were made of originally. What she had found, or what she had created, was an uncalibrated variant of the structure gel, and this was on January 16th, 2104, so getting closer to where we are now. And the idea behind that structure gel is that they could use it to destroy the WoW. And so the WoW then proceeded to take countermeasures, essentially. And we'll learn a little bit more about that as we go forward, but you could probably guess what those countermeasures were based on what happened to the people at Omicron. Following the aftermath of Acres and the proxies that we found at Site Theta, the refugees, as we saw, made their way to Omicron. This would be post these events that I've just been discussing. But of course, the entire team was locked out and didn't get in, so they all perished outside. And then the last thing I think that happened was that, let's see, the last thing that I think that happened is that we, of course, we found Raleigh in the power suit that we're wearing, so we're actually using her body now, the body that we've been transferred to. Which leaves us with what happened here storyline-wise. I mean, Ross was coaxing us into... He's the one who led us into Omicron. If that wasn't clear, he was the one who led us in. And he wanted us to body jump. And you could probably guess why, but I'll talk about that more later on. You could probably guess why if you're following along with what I've been saying. But that's why he was following us when he said, "You did it," and then he's like, "I'll make preparations." He's expecting us to do something. And again, you could probably guess based on what he does here, which we'll learn more about. But you could probably guess what that is. More current to what just happened to us, obviously, we just jumped bodies again. So when Catherine said getting us into the suit, she said, "Well, we can transfer your mind basically the way we did, or the way that Simon did from when he was in Toronto to Site Upsilon, where we ended up in Imogen's body, which is through the scan. You scan the mind at that time, and and it gets scanned and basically dropped into a new body." And I don't know, the way Simon talked about that with Catherine, the way he was saying it was like she was trying to hide it from him, but I didn't really see it that way. And maybe in a way she wasn't really saying it out to the full extent, but she didn't hide that from him. She wasn't, to me, the way she said it was pretty obvious what was going to happen there. She said, "The way your mind was transferred before, it's going to happen again," is what she basically was saying, which was his original went on living until he died from his brain hemorrhage, and his new one went on living when it was put into this body, except in this case, it's done in real time, so there's two of us at one time, breaking the continuity that Sarang had talked about when they were doing the original scans, and how he was claiming that everybody should commit suicide. Now there are two Simons, because I didn't do anything about the other Simon. There are two of us existing right now. And so, of course, I don't know, Simon's kind of dense, I would say. So the fact that, I don't know, just to me as a character, he comes off as, he doesn't really think things through. Because like I said, I didn't really feel like Catherine was trying to hide it from him, maybe just not spelling out what exactly that means. But I mean, she literally said, "Just like you did before, just like how you jump bodies." And he knows that the original Simon went on living, even if it wasn't for a very long time. So, I don't know. I don't really feel like she was necessarily trying to hide that from him, maybe just not spelling it out in the exact same way, because she knew how he'd react. But like his first reaction to that sounds like a big deal. You might think, oh, he understands this, and then he's completely mind blown when he hears himself talking in the other room, because there's two of him now. So I think that's a really interesting dynamic. So this happened previously to us, but Simon wasn't there to experience the other Simon. Now it's happened again, and he sees him what he formerly was. Because we just looked at ourselves in the mirror one more time. I did it previously at Theta, and here again, so you could see the body in the mirror. And now he's in a whole different body where you could go and look at yourself, which is kind of an interesting dynamic. Now, I did say I left him alive for a reason, and that's because I know how the story plays out, and it's something I am conflicted on either way with what's the right thing to do here, because we know there's not much left to the world at this point. I'd say make your own decision based on what you want to do, but I will divulge why I left him alive when we get to the end. I don't want to spoil anything on that in that realm, but I have my reasons, and I've seen other people do it for similar reasons as well. We just don't. There's not enough of the story that we don't know exactly how this is going to end at this point. We just know that we're going to launch this arc, and that's about it. That's what our goal is. So, more on that later. And that is a good place to close things out. So to recap, we made our way into Omicron, taking the back, kind of back entrance, alternative entrance, it said. We found a power suit with a dead body in it. Catherine said how that's perfect, because that's basically what we are already. We just need to transfer our mind into it and collect a few supplies to make sure that the body can run properly, which was, you have the dead body, you have the power suit. We need the structure gel to hold everything together. We need the power pack to kind of sustain the energy needed for the body, and we need the cortex chip, which is also has the eyes that we have, which is the same thing we were made out of before, and you just kind of shove everything in there, and the structure gel kind of does all the work for us. But of course, we have the modified structure gel, the uncalibrated structure gel, the stuff that the WoW can't control, really, which is interesting in a way. At least I don't think it can control. I don't think it can control us. More on that later, of course. We'll learn more about that, but that's kind of what we ended up doing. Ran into another WoW creature. I've heard that thing referred to as a few different names, but to me it looked like a girl that was crying, but her body parts were a few different, fault, kind of a mechanical. She looked more augmented than anything, I would say. Maybe not entirely robotic. She's definitely human flesh, human body, but with some augmented parts on her. And so we were able to escape from her, though, pretty easily. If you probably noticed when I was approaching her, she seems to react to your presence. I know she reacts to sound. I think she can react to light as well. So I was just being very cautious and slow, because if she does come after you, she's gonna run you down. She is pretty fast, as you could see when we got to the end, before we put the body together. And of course, we ended off by transferring our mind into the new body. We left our former self in the chair in the scan room, and we took the climber rig down into the abyss where we are now, and we got to learn a little bit more about Catherine and her past, because Simon is quite distraught over what they just did, and as we could probably already guess from her past reactions and discussions with her, it doesn't affect her the way it affects us. She has a very different mind and a very different way of looking at things. But so now we are down in the abyss. We are heading for Site Tau, which is where the Ark was supposedly left behind, because that's where the tracker was, and figure out what happened to the Ark team, why they didn't launch. Whether they're alive or not, we don't really know at this point. So that's what we'll do next time. And with that being said, let us officially close things out for the night. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.